Pokemon Sword and Shield are just around the corner, and just like with every new Pokemon generation, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who want to begin streaming or recording Pokemon content for themselves. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to begin doing that, but keep in mind this should also work for any Switch game. We're just going to focus on Pokemon. So the first things you will need is obviously you will need a computer. I've gotten comments asking if you can record from a tablet or a phone. I mean, technically you could if you just point your camera to the screen, but that's not going to be very high quality. If you want to have actual quality like a capture card, you're going to need to record it from a computer with a capture card as well. The capture card that I use is an Elgato HD60S. You can use any capture card you have. You can even find capture cards at your local Best Buy if you live in America, which is kind of cool. Same with microphones. Obviously, you're going to need a microphone as well because you want to talk during your Let's Play or stream. Again, I personally use a Blue Snowball, but you can use whatever mic you have. Blue Snowball you can actually find at Best Buy as well, which is really convenient because way back when I started, you couldn't get this stuff at a regular store. You had to order it online. So now you just walk into your Best Buy and pretty much pick up everything you need in order to start your YouTube or streaming career. And I'm sure other stores, other electronic stores might have them as well. For the microphone, you can also technically use a headset if you want. That's something that a lot of people use if you don't want to use a standalone mic. The headset will also be very nice because you can actually hear the game audio. When you're recording from your Switch, from your TV, you don't want to have your TV sound volume too high because it might pick up on the mic. So having a headset to hear the audio would be a little bit better. So just to go over everything you need really quick, you need a computer, Windows or Mac is fine, a capture card of some type, Nintendo Switch and the TV of course, and then a microphone. Optional would be the headset. You don't technically need the headset, but it is definitely recommended. And of course a webcam if you want to have face cam. I will show you guys how to implement that as well. And with all the hardware out of the way, we can move on to the software that you will need. First, you will need some sort of capture card recording software. A lot of capture cards you buy might come with their own proprietary software, which you can use just fine. But for this video, we're going to focus on Obs Studio because Obs Studio is free for PC and Mac. It's really easy to use. It's what I use, and it just makes things a little bit easier. It also needs some type of editing software. If you have a Windows computer, Windows Movie Maker is free and should have been pre-installed onto your computer. It's not the best editing software, but if you're just starting out, it will get the job done. I've heard about other free editing software, such as DaVinci Resolve, which I've heard is pretty good. I'll put some links in the description if I can find them, some of these free editing softwares. Keep in mind that I've never actually used some of these softwares, just from what I've heard being good. It seems like the two best for editing are going to be Sony Vegas and Adobe Premiere. I personally use Sony Vegas. Premiere is great too. If you're just doing Let's Plays though, which require rather minimal editing, you don't really need to use Premiere. Premiere is definitely more of a high-end, higher quality editing software you do a lot more in, but Vegas works just fine. And then for some optional things you might use, you might need an overlay if you want to have an overlay to display some of your Pokemon. Now this, I recommend either making it yourself or commissioning an artist, meaning you will have to pay. Do not just rip one you find off of Google Images. Do not just copy one you see from another streamer or YouTuber using. Get your own, don't copy somebody else, and definitely don't steal. You might want an intro and outro as well if that's your thing. And last but not least, some other separate software to record your audio. Something that I like to do, I use a free program called Audacity that records my audio. Basically, all you have to do is sync it with OBS when you're recording to Audacity. That way you can use the Audacity audio instead of the OBS audio, because the OBS audio is going to record the game audio and your voice audio on the same track. It's just a little bit easier and a little bit higher quality if you have that on separate tracks with Audacity, so I definitely do recommend that. So now we're here in OBS Studio. I'll leave a link in the description to this as well. This is free, whatever. Very easy to download, PC or Mac. So just kind of ignore this middle part for the time being. I just have to record my screen and this is kind of in the way. So just pay attention to this like real bottom part. So first thing you want to do when you have OBS set up is you want to make sure you know where your recordings are going, because you don't want to start recording and have no idea where that folder is. I think by default it should be your movies folder or something like that. But if you want to change that, very, very simple. So now if you want to get your mic or your capture or anything, they should automatically appear over here in the audio section. As you can see, if I scroll down a little bit, you'll see my mic over here. You know it's working because as I talk, you see the levels go up and down. We also have the desktop audio. I have that muted because I have two desktop audios. You don't really need to get into that. And then I have the regular desktop audio, which basically this means if anything that's playing on my desktop will be recorded or streamed here. So once we import the capture card, it'll be counted as desktop audio and the levels will go up and down here. So you are going to want to mess around with the levels too. It depends on your mic, depends on how you talk and stuff like that. do some test recordings, make sure everything is good once you have all that plugged in. And of course, if you want to mute your mic or anything like that, like for example, my mic right here, I'm not going to actually do it. Just click right here. And you see that accent up here? There's one right here. That means it's muted. So very, very simple. So first thing you want to do, you want to add your capture card. So we're going to right click, add over here. Now your capture card as well as your webcam are going to be considered video capture devices. Click on video capture device here. So I'm pretty sure since the way I have to record this in a really weird way, OBS actually crashes if I try to record from my capture card while recording OBS itself, which is kind of weird. So basically same thing you want to do, right click, add. You're going to want to click your video capture device. It's going to open a window just like this. If it wants to open, there we go. You can see your capture code over here if you display the correct device. That's all you have to know. Keep in mind, mine isn't going to show any gameplay because if I do, it crashes. So I have my PS4 and my Switch off because it's not recording any of those. And yeah, you're going to have this in your OBS screen. And if you want to record just straight up Pokemon Sword and Shield gameplay, you're done. You got the gameplay, just click record, boom. Easy peasy. Now let's say you want to add an overlay. If you're streaming, you're going to have the overlay now. If you're recording, you can add it while you're editing. But you can also add it now if you're recording. So we're going to click the plus sign over here. You can go to image. What you can also do, if you have a folder with these images already up, you can literally just drag and drop from the folder into your OBS. But if you don't do that, if you want to do it this way, the longer way, just click image, name it whatever you want. We'll call it overlay tutorial 1, just in case. And we're going to click browse over here. And we are going to go into whatever folder you have, and you're going to want to click on the image, and it's going to appear. Now, keep in mind that this actual overlay that I'm using, it's just an example overlay. This is actually overlay I used when I would stream 3DS stuff, so it is going to look a little bit different. Now, what you want to do here, you're going to see these red boxes appear on the outside. That's how you resize it. If you hold Control, it'll keep the orientation. If you hold Shift, you can sort of, free transform it if you want to say. You don't typically want to do this because it makes the image look a bit weird. Hold Shift, boom, it's done. Now, you want to have your overlay on top of the gameplay. As you can see down here, I have the overlay up here, gameplay up here. That's where they appear. As you can see now, some of the gameplay is going to be blocked. No problem. What I recommend doing is locking your overlay by clicking the lock box. That means you can't select it anymore. And we're going to go into our gameplay part. So for our gameplay, that's wrong. Let me lock that too. You don't need to worry about the display capture. It's just there for the tutorial. So we're going to go to our video capture device, which is going to be our capture card. You're going to want to resize it. You're going to resize it under the overlay. So that way, it'll look a little bit better. Now, for me, I have to actually resize it a little bit. There we go. And there we go. We have the overlay. We have this box over here. You put your webcam. If you want to add a webcam, it's the same exact thing. Right-click, add, video capture device, and just select whatever your webcam is called. Now, I personally have some issues with OBS and my webcam. My webcam's actually broken right now, so I can't display it, unfortunately, at all. But sometimes I have to restart OBS multiple times in order for my webcam to show. I don't know a fix to that. You might have that issue. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully the first time you add in your microphone, or excuse me, first time you add in your webcam, it works. Speaking of microphone though, got ahead of myself a little bit. Sometimes if you add your webcam, it'll also pick up another microphone because most webcams have a microphone. If that happens, just mute it. Click the mute right there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, because you want to have your best mic recording your audio. You don't want to have two different mics, it'll just look weird. Now let's say you want to add a Pokemon on the bottom. Let's say you're streaming, you will capture a Pokemon, you want to add it live. Very simple, you do the same thing as the overlay. Right click, add image, boom, select the image you have wherever it's saved. You can also drag and drop it in. If you want to get those images, I just recommend going on Google and typing in the Pokemon's name followed by PNG and then downloading it to a folder, all in the same folder. I actually have a sprite folder myself where I have like every single sprite or model, whatever, just make things a bit easier. Now, if you're actually recording and you're not just, let's say you're recording a Let's Play, I don't recommend adding the Pokemon live. You can do it, but I really don't recommend it. I recommend adding it in the post once you're editing. Now, let's say you're streaming and you want to add some fancy notifications. Somebody follows, somebody subscribes, whatever. This works for YouTube and Twitch. Only this is Streamlabs. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Just go to streamlabs.com. Make sure you link your account, YouTube or Twitch, whatever, so that way you can actually get the overlay and stuff like that. You're gonna want to go over to the right, or the left, excuse me, and click Alert Box. Over here, you'll see a widget URL. You're gonna want to click Copy it. I'm not gonna show the URL because, it's my own URL. Then we're gonna go back into OBS over here, which I have to drag in over here. I'm gonna go right click, click Add, and click Browser. Now over here, you're gonna want to add a new one. Now over here, just type the URL right there, or paste it right there. Very simple, and then click OK. Now for me, I actually already have this set up. Very simple. I'm gonna click Add. I already have one that's existing. Just Browser, go to Existing, Alerts. Boom. You're gonna see this red box over here. This is my Twitter. Actually, to make things a bit easier so you guys can see it better, I'm going to put the capture card back on. So there we go. Yeah, it's right here. And now let me show you something really cool. So if we go back into the Streamlabs, we're gonna click Test Follow, and you'll see the notification. So yeah, I just turned it off so that way it doesn't go on the whole time. That's how you know it works. You see this red box, resize it however you want, put it wherever you want. This will work for pretty much everything you have checked. So if we go back, actually this isn't gonna work. Let me just fix this a little bit real quick. I have to turn this off so you guys can see it. So if we go back into here, I see all these things I have checked off. If somebody follows me, I get a notification. Somebody subscribes, get a notification. Somebody resubs, notification, so on and so forth. Now you have to set all these up manually, all the follow and stuff like that. So if I go down here, right, you'll see follows. Now there's going to be some stuff by default. You can change it however you want, but you can import your own GIF. You can select the sound volume. If you just play around with this, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out with no problems. So that's actually it when it comes to streaming and recording. Of course, there's going to be some smaller intricacies you want to figure out as you grow as a streamer, as you do more, which I'm sure you can figure out on your own. I do want to also say that I wish you guys the best of luck when it comes to streaming and recording your Pokemon Sword and Shield content. I don't want to discourage you, but I want you guys to keep in mind that just because you start off streaming or recording Sword and Shield doesn't mean your channel is going to blow up. I feel like every time a brand new game comes out, people say, oh, I'm going to do a Let's Play, it's going to blow up and be a big YouTuber. That is not always the case. Chances are your first videos won't be very good. I'm not saying that to be mean, that's just the harsh truth. My first videos weren't very good. Any YouTuber's first videos weren't very good. But if you keep at it and you keep growing, I am pretty confident that you will grow and you will definitely succeed if you keep at it and keep improving. Now, if you want to edit your videos, let's move on over to that. Now, let's say all you have is Windows Movie Maker. What do you do? Now, the thing is with Let's Plays is, especially if you're just starting out, what you could literally do, let's say you don't want to have an overlay, you don't want to add the new Pokemon, you just want to do the, bare minimum, for lack of a better term. What you can do, get your video, whatever you have it saved, whatever folder you have, open up the folder, and just drag it in right here. Now, you're going to want to give it a minute or so. As you see at the bottom left here, it's, it has to read the file, has to acknowledge the file. I guess I don't know what the proper term is. But I just have a sample video here of me opening a Cosmic Clips booster box. It could be any video, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so now it finally loaded everything up into Windows Movie Maker. Very simple. If you literally just want to click record, stop record, and then upload that, you're done. All you gotta do is go to File, Save Movie, click for High Definition Display, and the video will end up rendering. Very simple. But let's say you want to cut something out. Let's say you started recording and you inhale or something. You want to cut the outro out where you're just, clicking stop recording. Pretty much all you have to do is you have to go right click and you'll see split. Click split. You'll see this will turn into two different tracks here. Just go to the one you want to delete and delete. That's simple. Movie Maker is very basic. There's not much else you can do besides just cutting and the rendering, and that's it. So that's it for Movie Maker. Moving into Vegas, though, which is a bit more advanced. Now, the thing is with Vegas is what I use. Vegas is not free. I got Vegas 5 or so years ago as a part of some promotion they were doing. It was pretty cheap. I got pretty lucky. So I'll show you guys how to do that. It's pretty simple though. So the same thing, once you have Vegas loaded, just drag your video and boom. This one takes actually a lot less to load and stuff like that. As you can see, it was pretty much instant. As you can see, we have the top track with our video, bottom track with our audio because I use OBS to record, which is the same audio and same video in the same file. If you use Audacity, very simple, just drag the Audacity file into here, wherever the folder that you saved your Audacity audio at. Pretty simple. Again, if you want to cut, it's a bit easier to Movie Maker. You just go to the part you want to cut and click S, and it splits it, and then you can just click delete. Very easy. Drag it down if you want, if you have your settings set up for that. What I do recommend that you do, though, for pretty much everything in Sony Vegas, right-click on the video track, go to Properties, Disable Resample, and usually you want to uncheck Maintain Aspect Ratio. If you uncheck it and the video looks weird, then just check it off again. Pretty simple, but as you can see, maybe you can't see, it'll look a bit better once we actually render it. So that's that. Now let's say you want to resize the actual footage here. Click this little box on the bottom right of the track here, and it's going to open up this. Now, we're going to have a few options here. We see this box in a box. If you click on this, what this will do, when you resize it, and you can kind of see on the top over here, you'll see. Actually, if I move this down, you can see it better. It'll resize everything on every corner at once, right? Maybe you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, just uncheck this and resize it however you want. It'll be squished. If you hold shift, might make it a bit easier. But yeah, that's that. Just drag your overlay in. Just drag your overlay in if you didn't record with it. And that'll be that. Now let's say you want to add some Pokemon to it. I'll get that set up in a second for you guys. So for the overlay, very simple. Right click, insert video track. Make sure the video track is on the top, of course. And then just drag your overlay in over here. But I want to make sure you resize it so it's the same length as the actual video track you're playing on. Now, similar issue to OBS, you're going to notice that it's covering some of it or it's below it. You want to have it below it. Now, this gets a little bit tricky. You don't want to resize it so that way it fits in that box. So, I'm not going to do it perfectly, but, you know, just something like that. So, imagine that's Sword and Shield gameplay, and you want to add it after the fact. There you go. You can add it before in OBS. It's completely up to you. Now, similar thing, if you want to add a sprite, let's say you caught a Pokemon, you want to drag it in, whatever. I'm just go to my sprite folder, and now whatever sprite you have, just drag it right in. Pretty simple. So right here I have a PNG of Jolteon. Cool. Gonna want to have that on the top actually, so I'm getting ahead of myself a bit. Insert audio track or insert video track. Put the Pokemon in. Now let's say I caught the Jolteon at the, I don't know, what is this? The minute mark, right? I'm gonna put out the minute mark right here. Jolteon, you're too big. Same thing. Click resize. And we're gonna put the Jolteon wherever you want it, honestly. It doesn't really matter. We'll just put it like towards the front. Kind of. Right over there-ish. So there you go. That's how you add that. And then you want to drag it across. Let's say you're doing a Nuzlocke and Jolteon dies, like right here. Then boom, Jolteon goes away. Jolteon's gone. Now if you want to have a crossfade, very, very simple. Just go like this. Now what's a crossfade? Let me play the video first thing so you guys can see it. Just pay attention to the corner over here. Nice. I love that Pokemon does this and they give us with them. I think back with... Now it might look a little bit choppy because the way I'm recording. You can sort of see that the Pokemon sort of fades in. And I like to do that on the intro and the outro. For the audio and the video, same concept. Just literally just go towards the top. You'll see like the semicircle kind of thing. Drag it in. Very, very simple. And that's pretty much it for the basics of how to record and stream Pokemon Sword and Shield content. Yes, there's going to be some more. You'll figure that out as you go along, of course. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll try my best to help you. But at least now you have the basics. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments down below if you guys plan on streaming or recording Sword and Shield content, and if it'll be your first time making content or not. So thanks for watching, have a great day, I'll see y'all later, and bye-bye.